Stay tuned for the fact check. It's where the party's at.
Oh, you're wearing the same shirt. You guys are wearing a very cute Ted Seeger shirt, which I also own and I will wear soon.
Good colors, right?
Great colors.
Yeah, I love the color.
Back to your shirt, though, which is much cooler.
It's a Camel cigarette shirt for people who are listening.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess if I wanted to put it in terms of fast food.
Sure.
Tell me if you like this comp. Like, let's say Aaron and I always ate at Wendy's or McDonald's. And then he went only Rallies. That's not a good comp.
No.
Really only Popeyes.
My mom loves Popeyes.
Popeyes
so
is
we
delicious.
Can't say that.
Why?
Are you trying to say it's bad?
Oh, I love. Wait,
no, Popeyes
what's
is
bad?
delicious.
I love Popeyes.
No, but
I am trying to make an analogy that
right.
which is, I can agree, arbitrary. You're already breathing burning tobacco into your lungs.
Might as well add some fiberglass crystals or whatever
Sure,
the menthol provides.
Some beaver anus and whatever else.
This is how it kind of happened at when I started Newports. I had the bar, and everyone is such a cigarette bummer, and it is flat out annoying. I mean, I had to go through a whole nother pack just bumming cigarettes every time I was working.
Because you get all these bozos who don't really smoke, so they're not carrying a pack of cigarettes, but when they drink, they like to have
smoke.
cigarettes.
And so they ask the bar owner.
Slash bartender.
Yeah.
But,
slash fellow drunk at the bar.
You did it all.
I was a man of many.
You were a client, you were a customer, a proprietor, a server, and an owner.
One of my friends, I was commenting on it one night, and I'm like, these motherfuckers. And was bumming the cigarettes. He goes, dude, no one asked me for cigarettes in your bar because everyone's white. And and this particular friend was a Mexican dude. He goes, don't you ever notice when you hang out at the bar down the street, which I frequented a lot, I was about the only white person that hung out there, mostly Mexican and black people. No one ever bummed one off me because no one wanted a Camel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I decided I just started enjoying them, and I'm like,
this would be the only frugal decision you've ever made in your life.
That's smart.
But soon after I started smoking them, and it was very true. No one, you got a cigarette? Yeah, it's a Newport. I said that all the time. Never mind.
I'll pass.
No cigarettes for me.
I'm not even a smoker.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. But
this is
not long after, we sold a bar, and now I'm only hanging out at the bars where people smoke Newport. So,
didn't work out.
And then I was already hooked on the fiberglass and all that.
There was also, Monica, as you become more and more saturated as an addict, it's harder to keep bumping it into a novel direction.
Sure.
And so you're smoking, when you're getting drunk for the night, like you're smoking 2 packs of cigarettes in like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And if you were doing drugs, like soon as drugs were in the mix, we would always switch to Newport.
Yeah.
You would add menthol into the mix.
Because the cooling?
Just because it was different and you were doing something different and you just kind of, you needed something novel. So Newports were always in rotation.
Newports were great with cocaine.
Yeah, it's a great pair.
I think I would like those because I like tingly menthol.
Yeah.
I like
almost, you can almost trick yourself that it's a little bit healthy.
Well,
yeah.
It's the preferred cigarette of koala bears because they eat eucalyptus.
And
so
they
they're
have
used
chlamydia.
to that. And they have chlamydia.
Yeah.
But don't mix up metaphors here.
That's not the same. They're not connected.
We're not saying Newport smokers have chlamydia
No.
more.
But now that you brought it up, I've always wondered, did they, I heard this a long time ago, did they ban menthol cigarettes in California?
I think so.
What the fuck are people doing?
Yeah,
this is a big Newport
I don't even
state.
understand that because,
well, Newport, California is probably named after Newport, California.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 'cause you're supposed to think about like the beach and fresh air, I think. And then it had like those little orange lines on it. They almost seem like maybe
there
they're
was
supposed
a
to be
lot of beach
sunshiny.
commercials.
They are banned 2022.
Yeah. So I know people tend to adjust, but I don't know how.
Newports are named after the seaport city of Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Okay.
East Coast. Still,
Sure.
still
You know what?
maritime.
Yeah, I can picture the ads now. Definitely East Coast.
Get on that fishing boat. Go out for that long.
Catch a couple scrubs.
Find a white squall or
Mark-
two.
Yeah, it says it has a spinnaker sail. That's the logo.
Yes, it is a
It
sail.
is. Sure is.
I'm trying to think what were the backup menthols? Cool was in the mix.
Cool,
KOL.
Yeah,
Salem, and
that's
Marlboro
banned
had
too.
one.
Gone.
All the menthols are banned.
And it says camel.
Camel had a menthol, yeah.
Okay.
That came way later.
Unfortunately, I have to kind of thank them for this because this is what also banned Wintergreen dip.
Yeah.
This was a part of the whole sweeping no flavored tobacco.
Right.
And so I was having to get them smuggled in by my father-in-law, or I was always inconveniencing someone to get them for another state for me. And it helped because when I
Dipped it again?
yeah, I haven't had dipped in a year and a half.
It's been that long. Okay.
I've dipped twice on the bus
Well,
because
that doesn't count.
It doesn't count at all.
Right.
And you were with me one time. I dipped
Yeah, sure.
just on the last leg of our grocery store. I needed to do something.
I remember you decided to have one.
And then I also did when I drove back from Nashville. I picked up a little tin. Do your kids care about you vaping?
They're not vocal about it if they do.
Yeah.
Oh, but by the way, I find vapes every month in my house
That are
that are
empty or not
mine.
yours? Oh, not yours.
wow.
Okay. Yeah, that
So
makes
we have
sense.
we have discussions about, but it's do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work.
I don't know where to go
Yeah.
with it. I'm just like, you're not allowed to do it, and I'm like, you can't do it in the house. That's
Right.
absurd.
Which,
Yeah, that's fair.
for the record, Aaron was allowed to smoke in his
I
house
was at
from
13.
8th grade.
know.
In 8th grade, we were allowed to just casually bang darts at the table.
Well, that's what you can say. Like, I'm too far gone, but you're not.
I think
You're salvageable.
I think
So
they
yeah, so
know.
you can't.
And so far, no one likes it, and it's always a friend's.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
That's what I used to say about
you know,
drinking.
I
It's
mean, if it
not.
was a
Did you get caught drinking? And what did your parents?
No, I would just be like, oh, I went to this party. Oh, people were drinking.
And you were too. You were saying
No.
to them while drunk?
No.
Oh.
Like after the fact. Like I was always like playing a game with them.
Like,
you
I'm
know?
going to be honest to a degree.
Yes.
So you trust me.
Yes.
Yes. Now, did you ever come home drunk
No.
and have to talk to them?
I never came home drunk.
You didn't. You just would spend the night
in
out.
high school. Yeah, I would always be out.
And around.
Apparently, my brother. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I will. When my brother was living with my parents as an adult,
Yes.
he, I guess, twice like came home so drunk.
Shit-faced.
Yes, and like acting crazy.
Oh, wow.
He claims and maybe.
got spiked.
Yes. He said.
Oh, you said
He said for one of them, he was like, I really think something happened.
straight women aren't dosing.
Who's
him.
wasting their drugs on them? That's
Exactly.
what we always
Wasting
used to
drugs.
say.
I see.
Because we used to say that to any of our friends that would go, like, you just got shit faced. There's no other, like, someone would be like, I had to have been roofied. We're like, no one is wasting their roofies on you.
Right.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Unless they're going to follow you home for like their shits and giggles, watch you stumble. But
Yeah. Or you drank out of a girl's drink,
There you go.
that could happen.
or someone accidentally spiked the wrong drink.
I fucking hate people.
Could also.
Right? I know. It's so
I like
horrible.
when Ruthie just had a trip to Nashville with her girlfriends,
Uh-huh.
a fun trip over like Mother's Day weekend. None of them are mothers. They're partying, and I was like, can't believe I'm saying this, but please keep an eye on your drinks. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I just keep it comes up in my feed for some reason. and
Yes.
I'm like, oh boy.
We just had an Armchair Anonymous story of a girl who.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, on her big trip she won to go on
Yeah.
a cruise.
Backstreet Boys
Oh,
cruise.
Yeah, back as an adult.
Jesus.
Which is great.
There's
yeah.
some actor had a story who had been sober, and his story of why he relapsed was he was kidnapped in Palm Springs, and they made him do an 8-ball. And I remember Tom Arnold and I were together when we heard that story.
That's a great story.
And we were like, please show us the men that want to get rid of their 8-ball so bad that they kidnap someone and force them to snort. Like,
it's true.
you must abide by the rules of drugs to some degree.
But anyway, he was great. He was out of his mind apparently, and and they made everyone scared.
Okay, but the police weren't called.
No.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
I don't know why that immediately triggered this memory of being up at Bree's house in the summertime. And I used to get hammered with her dad and her brother like every night. And these things can turn, right? Like somehow Toughness comes up,
Oh, no.
blah, blah, blah. And then these two, rightly so, decide like, we're both taking you. And we had a huge wrestling match in the middle of the night. It was me versus the father and son. And they definitely got the best of me by the end of it. And then you got to wake up the next morning. We all eat breakfast. And we all know we had it kind of cross the line tumble last night. And they feel great because they beat me.
Sure. I just imagine Bree like looking out the window and being like, oh.
No, I think they heard like furniture and stuff getting smashed around the room at like 3:30 in the morning.
Wow. Anyway.
Anywho. Well, update. We did not, you'll be relieved to know, we did not tackle the hiking trail on our electric motorcycles.
You didn't because you were too tired, Aaron?
I have a different explanation.
Oh.
Tell me.
Well, we had a glorious dinner. Eric, Nate, Weakley, and I don't know, that was a 10, man.
It was. Look, I mean, it sounds repetitive, but
So fun. Food was delicious.
Honest or no?
No harness.
Okay.
No harness. And then we had taken a very special car I have that I rarely ever drive. And on the way home, we took kind of the scenic route. So there'd be lots of twists and turns. And there was a dude in a Mustang that wanted to party with us.
Oh.
Not as in an aggressive way. I just think he was pumped about the car and he wanted
and
to.
someone else was going fast.
Yes,
That's how it
yes,
happens. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
So we had a little action through Griffith Park that was very hair-raising and exciting. And we ditched him.
Cool.
The competitor.
Oh, yeah,
I know,
he
you
was-
don't care. But that definitely satiated my adventure spirit.
Great.
Like we got home, I was like, yeah, we conquered something.
It was great. We left them in the dust.
We felt brave when we went to bed. So we didn't end up going, and also probably saved by the enormous week we had. I was just too afraid to be tired the next day. TBD though, we still have tonight and tomorrow night.
Oh. Fingers crossed. I was on a walk and I heard some really loud rumblings outside, and I thought it was you guys, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I always tend to. First I eye roll. That's my immediate reaction.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
So
That's-
selfish and loud.
Yep. I'm like, oh, fuck this person, and then I'm like, oh, but it might be Dax, and then I look, and then it's not. And then I have compassion for that person, and I'm like, oh, that's somebody else's friend.
That's nice.
Okay, so I feel overwhelmed
Okay, great.
by
Congratulations.
the world.
Tell me.
So I don't know. I mean, I know we talk about this a lot, but social media is feeling so intense.
What is it doing? Because we have different algorithms.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing's happening in mine.
What? I mean, yeah, I'm like, there's so much stuff about what's happening in LA, and I'm like, ah, God. And then immediately it's like all these people died in a plane crash
Well, India, ding,
in
ding,
India.
ding,
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's just like a nonstop, it's horrible.
Uh-huh.
And then I put that down, and then I turn on Mountainhead,
The film Mountain
the
Head.
movie Mountainhead, which Easter egg, we have somebody on who's in that movie upcoming. So I wanted to watch it, and it
It scared you too much.
It was so intense.
Uh-huh.
And it is about all these tech guys who basically like decide they want to control the world.
Yeah.
And everything gets so out of
They
hand.
release a product that gets away from them immediately.
Yes.
And then they just decide to kind of maybe embrace where it's going to take them.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it is, and like they're all horrible. They're such disgusting pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it's like, it's too real, but it's like too intense. And then I try to take a break to go to Instagram, and then that's horrible, and that's really real.
Yeah.
And
You
then I was
felt
up
overwhelmed.
so late,
With anxiety?
I guess. And I even took magnesium, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
What? Magnesium?
Yeah. The hard
That's like
stuff.
saying I even had a warm glass of milk. That's supposed to knock you right out.
Magnesium does make people sleepy.
Yeah, I think it's part of it.
But it doesn't make, I guess, me sleepy.
You ever try searching some playful, fun stuff on Instagram? Try to change your
Change the
algorithm, a
algorithm?
little.
You can also reset your algorithm,
Like,
which
Yeah.
I've done once.
I'm big on Corey Feldman. I know you've
Oh,
been there.
sure. We've discussed that.
He disappeared for a long. Well, actually, you know what? That might be a different kind of anxiety.
Sad.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially
that might,
for
that might
us.
cause more anxiety.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I like the babies that are adults, like
Trump
the
and-
cast of the and not him, but the cast of The Office, but they're babies. I love that. And
The AI babies.
AI babies.
You don't like the? I love the Trump one.
Trump baby.
Because Trump,
Yeah, that one, it's fine.
it's really funny. Like
It's
to
funny.
picture him as a baby, there's something about it that I find to be extra funny.
It is funny, but I just like don't want him in my.
you don't want more of him.
Yeah, I want more Steve Carell as a baby.
Have you ever seen
Christopher Walken.
either
as
of
a
you
baby.
as a baby?
No, and I'm a little upset about
Sure.
it. You know, they have like Rogan and Theo Vaughn as babies.
Yeah, I've seen Theo Vaughn as a baby, and he's so cute. He
so
has Theo's haircut.
They make them so cute.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah, it's crazy.
fun.
AI knows exactly what cute is.
Yes.
Because all of the creations are so cute. If it's an
Yeah.
animal, if it's a baby.
I know. Like John Turturro.
Like
There's
we can't,
Severance.
isn't it funny? Like we probably can't, through our own restriction, even describe what a cute baby is or a good looking person. You're just kind of not allowed to do it.
It's also hard to do. I think.
It's just interesting that AI can look at our lives as it exists online and they immediately go, we know what you think is cute. It's this.
Yeah.
And you know
right.
too. But
You know when you see it, but like, I don't know if I could describe cute baby.
I'm making a broader observation that as we move away from like, it's just become completely un-PC to talk about people's looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somehow anti-progressive or something to be talking about looks. Do you agree?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's not like there's going to be a big verbal record. If you go back to the 80s, people just spoke very clear. Like Brooke Shields is so hot because of this or whatever the hell they did. But even the stuff we won't say out loud, that it knows.
Yeah, I guess I know what you mean, but I think it's almost deeper in that they know something that we don't. Like they know what a cute baby is, and I can't really put words to it other than like I love it when they're chubby.
Yeah.
But like
yeah.
their faces, I can't. I mean, I do know when I see a cute baby and when I see one I don't think is very cute. But I
That's
don't
right.
think I can. I don't think I could look and be like, oh, it's because of this.
Yeah, this one's making me sick because of this.
Have you ever told someone like, no, you really are lucky that you have a cute baby? Because
Yes.
yeah, I have too. My cousin just had a baby, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so lucky that you have a cute baby. And she's like, I'm pretty sure you would have told me if he wasn't cute. And I'm like,
No, you would
I don't
not.
think so.
No, you would
Of
not.
course not.
But then I was like,
You just said like, oh, he's got a good
I
grip.
would've-
You
yeah,
just
he's
find
got
some.
yeah.
Look at all that hair.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff to say.
There's stuff to say. Also, you just lie. You just say like, "Oh my God, so cute."
Yes, and even an ugly baby is quite cute.
Exactly.
Yes.
And there's something kind of cute even about the baby being kind of
Sometimes
ugly.
cuter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of cute babies, I saw something so cute this morning. Not ugly babies, cute babies.
Yes, be very clear.
My friend from high school, she posted this series of stories about her baby. I guess her baby's maybe like 2. She is so cute. But she was like posting all these pictures of drawings the baby had drawn or colored, and it was all brown. Like everything was brown. And she was like, can you guess what her favorite color is? And then it's just like so many pictures of brown. And then she said, but the reason is so cute. And then she played this video and she said, what's your favorite color? And she says, brown. And she said, why is it your favorite color? I'm sorry, I should say this baby is half Asian.
Okay.
And so she said, my eyes are brown, my hair is brown. Like she liked that about herself, which was so sweet. And she said, what do you call yourself? And she said, Brown Elsa.
Oh, Brown Elsa.
It was it really made my heart melt. And I DM'd her and I said, I love this so much. And she said, she's so proud of it. I hope she never stops.
Yeah, I do too.
Anyway, I just thought that was heartwarming.
That is nice. I like to hear it. Should we do some facts?
Sure. Okay, some facts for Michael Calvey. Fact number 1.
When you say couple, do you really mean 2?
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I wasn't going to be honest, but I am going to be honest that I'm not through the episode. So there might be some facts left on the table.
Okay, that's okay.
But we've had a busy couple weeks and hanging on by thread.
Yeah, just barely hanging on.
Just barely. Okay, an Oklahoma accent. What does it sound like, you might wonder?
Yeah, I am curious.
Features both the Midlands and Southern dialects, often described as a milder Southern twang or a Midland accent with a bit of Southern influence. You might hear a light drawl, dropped ing sounds, and the use of y'all. Okay, now I'm going to play a little.
So there's rough instead of roof, and there's crick instead of creek. Hey y'all, my name's Damien, and I'm from Oklahoma.
Hey, y'all.
With the exception of the 5 years I was in the Marines and my first year in TV, I've lived here my whole life. I've lived everywhere from the small towns to the, well, does Oklahoma City count as a big city? And today I'm going to teach you how to talk like an Okie.
Wow.
So the first thing you'll notice about the way we talk is that none of our words have OU in them. We mainly replace OU, boomer, with ER. For example, you would never hear an Oklahoma mom say, go and get your shoes on. Instead, you'd hear your mom say, go and get your shoes on.
We say that.
And if you don't listen to her, you will end up in the ER. Also, very important, none of our words end in ing. For example, you'll never hear me say, I'm forecasting great weather for getting outside this weekend. Instead, you'll hear me say, I'm forecasting great weather for getting outside this weekend. Another thing that you'll never hear in Oklahoma are words that end in OW. For example, instead of having pillows and windows, in Oklahoma we have pillas and windows.
That one's triggering for you. Yeah. Well, that's
Sweet
great.
tea.
That's
In Oklahoma, our preferred beverage is sweet tea. But here we make it one word, sweet tea. And if you wanted to sound extra oaky, you'd say, hey darling, you want some sweet tea?
He winked.
Oh, we did. Okay, that's part of the Oklahoman charm.
Okay, to me, it just sounds completely Southern.
To me, it sounds Southern light. Like
That's
if I think of the most extreme, like Appalachian accent, maybe, and we're going to give that a 10. This to me is like a 3 or 4.
Okay.
And then what was really interesting is you and I interviewed someone recently from Duluth.
Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Remember?
From Armchair Anonymous. That was so exciting.
Yeah. And I was sitting there, I didn't call it out, but I'm sitting there listening to both of you, and I'm like, yeah, neither of you have an accent, which is so interesting.
Suburban.
So it's like, even when you say Oklahoma, I bet if you're in some spots in Oklahoma City, you don't. And then even where I lived in Michigan, people had a lot of those.
Right.
Because so many Kentucky migrants in that big migration. And I have a bunch of them, and I have some Southern things.
You have a bunch, but you have words that give you away.
Right.
But you don't overall sound very Midwestern.
But when you were at this particular beach called Blood Beach a couple towns over. A lot of fights there. That's why it's called Blood Beach.
Wow, creepy.
The dudes that were hanging out there in cut-off jean shorts and drinking Mountain Dew and Avia tennis shoes with no laces, they're full Southern. It almost was like this way to be more masculine where I grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you were, this thing I always talk about is like if you embrace that you're white trash,
Right.
which is like your only defense, I applaud it. It's like, yeah, you all think I suck and I'm going to lean into it. I think you'd go even further. So it was very socioeconomically broken down in where I grew up.
Right.
You know, some kids that were like, are you from the South? No, I'm poor.
Yeah, poor.
Remember when you were a kid to be, I don't know if you ever had that fear, but like being poor was that was the thing.
Well, sure.
They're poor.
Well,
Because it gave you such humiliation to be poor.
I didn't have that, but I did have, I want the things that these other people have.
Right.
But I didn't associate it with being poor because we weren't.
Right.
So I guess that's why.
Yeah, and probably most people at your school in Duluth weren't poor either. Pretty up
I guess I never,
middle class area.
I had friends growing up.
The fact that your mall doesn't have a food court and it has restaurants, I mean,
that's
indicator.
that was not there when I was growing up. They
It's
didn't
really
have-
gone up, huh? Since you.
Yeah, and that's also in a town over.
Okay.
But Gwinnett Place Mall was the mall, and it was indoor, and there was a food court.
Okay, good. Sparrow's Pizza.
Oh, yeah, all the Panda Express. But I don't remember what I was going to say.
Okay, great. That's fine. You don't always have to remember.
So, the definition of a recession: a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. That's what he said. He said 2 successive quarters, but he said 0.01.
Officially marks a recession. Isn't there also something with employment rate that's got to be one of the indices?
Oh, a recession is not officially declared until after the fact. While there's no single agreed upon definition, economists generally use the 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth rule of thumb. Okay. It seems like there should be a real definition. That's annoying. Econ is annoying. Like they try to make it so complex.
Yeah, I think it is complex.
Well, some things aren't but they make it. They don't have to be, but they've made it complex.
Yeah.
It's not Buddhist.
It's not. There's just so many forces that predict the outcome of the economy.
It's true.
It's a complex system.
It is a complex system. Okay, I looked up who has the longest standing ovation in Congress because he said it was
Yeltsin?
yes. It's not here. Every time I Google it, what comes up, it keeps, everything that's coming up is about Netanyahu. I guess he got like a huge standing ovation.
And pissed off Biden.
Yeah, and exactly. It caused all this controversy. It says he got 28 standing ovations in 47 minutes.
Okay.
So that's a lot of sitting and standing.
Yeah, people were on their feet.
Yeah.
I wonder what was the Churchill's when he came famously. That would be a
right, exactly.
good comp.
I know. How long was Churchill's longest standing ovation for Congress?
Ovation has to be related to ovaries.
Ovulation.
Ovulation, ovaries, ovum.
Maybe.
I'd love to have a linguist.
The most notable standing ovation likely occurred during his address in 1941 where he spoke for 32 minutes. Maybe they stood the whole time.
We will fight on sea. We will fight in the air. Probably that speech.
Doesn't say how long. 30 minutes.
You're never going to watch that doc. It's such a bummer.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you're right. Oh, and then I looked up Peter Thiel's investments. Because you said it would be the equivalent, basically.
Yeah, throwing Peter Thiel in prison.
Wide range of ventures, including Palantir. It says a big data company.
Okay.
And startups like Airbnb, Stripe, and SpaceX. He's also involved in Founders Fund, a venture capital firm that has backed companies like SpaceX and Palantir.
I think he also did Tesla.
Well, SpaceX.
He's done a few Elon things. I think he was involved with the company he sold to PayPal.
Yeah, it says PayPal, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
Oh, yeah, Facebook. He made a couple bucks on that one.
Likely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, PayPal.
Those are the big whammies.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah. This is funny. This venture capitalists as rock stars is just a new phenomenon that was created by the internet in the 90s. It didn't even exist.
Silicon
There's no
Valley.
like famous VC people from the 70s or 80s
I know.
or early 90s.
Yeah, it's true.
Because the payoff wasn't there. Companies didn't 100x back then. GM would slowly gain market share and Coca-Cola would slowly gain market share. You didn't have these 10,000x returns. Like the first Facebook people, first in on Facebook, they're like in the 10,000.
But like Microsoft.
But again, that's 90s. That's part of their first tech boom.
Yeah.
And so that's when it's born.
Oh, you're saying even then, yeah.
Yeah, but like pre-90. Oh, yes, because Microsoft's 1975.
Yeah, your birthday.
Yeah. 911. Best Porsche ever.
Yeah,
911 Turbo. I'm sorry. 911 Turbo.
Most people don't hear 911 and think positive thoughts.
They should. They need to take a ride in a Porsche 911.
Okay, yeah. A rebrand. All right, that's it.
All right, love you.
Love you.